What you're about to see is part one of our last expedition out to the happy place. For those of you that don't know, this is our main research area as a team. This is the same area to where me, Captain Joe, and Scott DeForest all had 2 sightings on the same day. Some of the best evidence I've ever seen in my life, physical evidence, not to mention the sightings. You know, this is very lucky to have this spot. You know, basically confirmed occupation of this area by these creatures over 30 years, along with all the sightings and all the physical evidence. But this is the first time we've been able to go back since the end of deer season. The property owner is a very big hunter, deer hunter. There had been changes made to the property, a lot of shooting lanes that were cut, a lot of activity when it comes to people coming out there and hunting and everything else. And we weren't 100% sure. We don't know how we know they haven't left in over 30 years. They've probably been there longer, but we don't know their rotation, how long does the hunting push them out so far for a period of time and then they come back, or maybe it doesn't bother them at all. Maybe they're so used to it that they can just go and sit in a corner somewhere where they're not bothered and wait till everything's over with. Because after all, us humans are we're basically very easy to figure out. You know, you figure that they sit back and say, okay, well, this human or a human may come from this direction in a vehicle, you know, with their lights, park somewhere, get out and walk and come sit in one of these big man-made stands that there is. You know, there's probably not a lot of variation when it comes to that type of stuff for them. Maybe exactly why we caught them off guard, as we were out there when it wasn't hunting season, doing things that people normally don't do out there, walk around like we do. The main goal was to find out if they were still there, if there was anything to suggest they were still in the area. And we found enough physical evidence, I believe, to suggest that they are still there. Was 100% twisted off. on a property like this with all the hunting that goes on, the hogs that live in the area and the coyotes, you know, all the other animals, it's not a huge deal to find bones. The important thing, or the interesting thing, is that we are finding bones in a pattern and in an area that suggests they're being dumped in a specific area. The area that you're about to see me walk through is the same area where we have found several bones from several different animals, all in the same general spot. It's down by the creek in a pine thicket. There's a pine thicket on one side that's kind of the bedding area where we have found the physical beds. On the other side of the pipeline, there's another pine thicket, and that pine thicket is where we're finding the bones. It's almost like they don't eat and sleep in the same spot, which is exactly what humans do. We don't eat and sleep when we're camping and stuff, or like in the military, you don't bathe, eat, or sleep in the same areas. You have designated areas when you're out in the field, or when you're camping. Most people stick to that type of routine, especially if you're going to be somewhere for any amount of time. So that's what it looks like. It looks like these creatures are actually taking the bones from their kills. I don't know if they're eating them over there in this pine thicket, or if they're eating and then just taking the bones and actually dumping them. But this isn't an area that's like real easy access to humans. The property owner is not killing various animals and then walking down to this one spot and dumping them. We know that for a fact. But that is where we have found bones in the past. And on this trip, we found more bones and new bones. The old ones are gone. A lot of the old ones are gone, and there's a lot of new ones. So that's not the same thing we found before, but it's pretty close. Again, no way to tell. It could be natural. I do like how that's wedged in there, though. That end. And then you got that end right there. Let's see how that one goes up. That tree comes all the way down here, and it wedged in here. Look at that. That's almost like both sides are like almost exactly the same. That's a little more convincing. Again, there's no way to know. It'd be a lot better if it was like last time. Found one with a 10-point deer rack right underneath it. Another pig skull.